everybody. Back with some more Christmas movies. What's the date today? 14th? 15th? It's Monday. And Christmas is next week, and a few more movies that I want to watch, namely Black Christmas and Prancer. There's one more, and I should be able to get to them before Christmas. I have some traveling I need to do this upcoming weekend that will take a few days, so we'll see when I get around to it. But for now, we have 3 more movies here. We have Eyes Wide Shut. We have The Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. And we have Gremlins. So we'll start with Gremlins. Let's push this over here and take a look at this. This came out in mid-80s or something like that. What does it say here? 1984, so definitely a childhood movie of mine. And this also had a steelbook. Obviously I didn't get the steelbook. I wasn't too fond of the art, and frankly I'm not too fond of this art either. This movie has some pretty killer theatrical art, so it's just disappointing it's not used in the home release here, and that happens every now and again. So anyone, you see that? Not really, huh? Oh well. Anyone who lived through the 80s experienced the magic of Gremlins. I don't know if that's entirely true, but for everyone else, now is the time to see one of the decade's defining movies, a wildly original blend of comedy and horror. When Billy receives an adorable, mysterious pet named Gizmo for Christmas, he is given 3 rules for its care. Inadvertently, he breaks the rules, and the resulting army of duplicate furballs wreaks havoc throughout the town in this endearing and enduring box office hit. So, I feel like there were a few movies that were similar to Gremlins. I imagine Gremlins kind of kickstarted it, like Critters, Ghoulies maybe, I don't know, just the 80s films with little creatures running amok. And this is a Joe Dante movie. I tend to really like his movies. I find them very entertaining. They have a bit of an edge to them. So he also directed Piranha. I'm pretty sure he directed Piranha, the first one. James Cameron directed the second one. He directed The Howling, which is a very entertaining werewolf movie. Matinee, which kind of gets slept on, which it shouldn't. Really fun movie as well. This movie, every time I rewatch it, I normally see something, in the edge of the frame that I didn't notice before that is a pretty good joke. So it really is a rewarding movie to rewatch. There's just a lot of stuff crammed into the movie you may not recognize at first, and the Gremlins are hilarious. I really get a kick out of the scenes when they are terrorizing the sleepy town. It's really good stuff, and I really wish that Gremlins 2 would get a 4K release. I have a soft spot for that one as well, and that's also a Joe Dante movie. And I heard rumblings about there being a third one, but I don't know, it's something about these movies that this one's PG, so it kind of lures kids in, and they're just dangerous enough and violent enough and scary enough that they definitely leave a mark on children. And I really don't feel like they make too many movies like this that would get a PG rating. Of course, I don't even think PG-13 was a rating available when this came out, that would have been 84, around 84. Like Red Dawn, I think, was the first PG-13 movie, right? Maybe it was Temple of Doom, but this one didn't make the cut. So let's take a look at Nightmare Before Christmas next. So who directed this? It's not Tim Burton. Henry Selick. So I feel like he directed another stop-motion animation movie, and the name of it is escaping me right now. Though Tim Burton did go on to direct Corpse Bride, and I think he directed Frankenweenie as well. I haven't seen Frankenweenie. It was just mentioned in a Halloween party I went to, and I was like, oh, I probably should see Frankenweenie, but I'll see if I ever actually end up getting around to it. But this is based on Tim Burton's characters. It's not his screenplay. He does reproduce it, but a lot of times it just gets associated with Tim Burton and Tim Burton alone, which kind of takes away from Henry Selick's contributions here. And plus the Danny Elfman score and music lyrics. But I think Danny Elfman, I don't know if he got cancer recently. He was kind of a creep or something. I'm not too sure. I don't want to spread any gossip, so maybe I should Google before I say any more. But I feel like I read something about him that was a little undesirable. So, but experience The Nightmare Before Christmas, available for the first time in 4K Ultra High Definition. This edition of the fun-filled musical fantasy from Disney and creative genius Tim Burton also includes a spirited full-length sing-along version on Blu-ray. I did not know that. Featuring a marvelous mix of memorable characters and 11 ghoulishly captivating songs by Danny Elfman. This Ultimate Collector's Edition is frightful fun for the whole family. So this is one of those movies that it's I feel like it's both seasons. It's a Halloween movie when you feel like you want to watch a Halloween movie, and it can be a Christmas movie when you want to watch a Christmas movie. It just isn't. It can't be both in the same era. I can't watch this in October and then turn around and watch it in December. So I didn't watch this last year. I think last time I watched this actually is when the 4K came out. And I don't remember when that was. A few years ago, I think. I'm sure it's on here someplace. But so it's been a little bit. 2023. So okay, so it's been 2 years actually. So 2 years since I watched this. So probably a couple more years since I watched it again. But yeah, my favorite character in this is the mayor. I'm not sure who voices the mayor, but I appreciate his anxiety face, and I just get a kick out of every scene that he's in. I like the trick-or-treaters too, and I did see this when it came out in the theater, and I remember, how old is this movie? That's a good question. It's one of those movies that someone told me it came out like 10 years ago. I'd be like, oh, maybe. I would probably second guess that, but I also wouldn't be surprised. But then I wouldn't be surprised it came out like in 1995 either. I don't think it has the date on here for when it actually came out. Jeez, I really do not remember. But I definitely saw it in the theater. I have to take a look at that. Or if someone knows immediately, they can put in the comments, because honestly, I'll probably forget to check once this video is over. But yeah, enjoyable songs in this. The stop-motion animation, of course, is the real draw, the characters and the sets and everything. And I really enjoy that animation quite a bit. I grew up with it, and like movies like j.a.s.m.r, the Argonauts and what have you. Those are like the coolest things I've ever seen. I really love Wallace and Gromit. So if it's stop motion, I'll give it a shot. I think Coraline's a newer movie, and Kubo, I think is what it was called. Kubo and some a certain amount of strings. I don't remember how many strings. Probably 6. I think it's a guitar. But yeah, this is a pretty good movie to watch every Halloween or every Christmas, depending on your mood. So, alright, finally we have Eyes Wide Shut. This just got a Criterion release, so had a Blu-ray release out for a while. This came out in just a few weeks ago. I want to say it came out around Thanksgiving. Yeah, it did, because I was down in the States for Thanksgiving, and I popped into the Borders, whatever the hell they're called, just Borders, right? Borders Books and Music, Borders, whatever, Borders, and they have a Criterion sale every November. They're half off, so we were able to get this for $25. I don't really know why you would buy Criterion movies outside the sale, because it happens twice a year, every year, and 3 times a year if you actually go on the Criterion website. So, but yeah, so Eyes Wide Shut, maybe able to see that a little bit, not so much. So, Stanley Kubrick's career-capping Eyes Wide Shut unfolds in a dreamscape vision of New York City, where Dr. Bill Harford, played by Tom Cruise, and his wife Alice, played by Nicole Kidman, who was then his wife, confront the unconscious desires, jealousies, and fears threatening their marriage. A Christmas-time odyssey into a surreal sexual underworld whose hidden power structures are laid frighteningly bare, the film marks the fulfillment of the director's decades-long desire to adapt Arthur Schnitzler's novella novella? I really don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's a German. Arthur Schnitzler's. I think it's a German story. Don't go spreading that around either. I probably should Google that. And the culmination of his obsessive interest in the relationship between institutional authority and the individual. Released in 1999, the film also serves as a fitting coda to a century of cinema by one of its greatest visionaries, an endlessly tantalizing labyrinth whose myriad symbols, mysteries, and meanings are still being unraveled. So this has a new digital restoration of the international version of the film, supervised and approved by director of photography Larry Smith. And this is, like any Kubrick movie, probably scrutinized into oblivion. Not even just like the story itself, but like the aspect ratio, the color time, and probably this one more than most, just due to the fact he died during post. I know he had a cut that was screened, and maybe it was his second cut, and then he died shortly after that screening. But I don't really know too much in the way of details. And this has a really lovely presentation. I was really happy with this transfer. I'm sure there's some people online that disagree with it, but whatever. And it does come with a booklet here. So we have the Venetian style masks, which maybe it's just due to this movie, but I always associate him with kind of like pervert gatherings. Your masked orgies have to have Venetian masks, and maybe that was something before this movie, but that's kind of tied to Eyes Wide Shut now, as it should be. So, table of contents, casting credits, Soar in the Beds looks like an essay by Megan Abbott. What Stanley wanted, an interview with Sidney Pollack, so he plays one of the characters in this, who I think was originally being played by Harvey Keitel, and Harvey felt disrespected or something as an actor. I think like Stanley Kubrick had him do a take like dozens and dozens of times, and it was just him walking through a door or something like that, which doesn't really sound like him dunking on Harvey Keitel. It sounds pretty normal, but I'm sure as an actor you're probably like, okay, let's go, we got it. So Soar in the Bed, there's the essay. I'll have to take a look at this. And then we have these there's Todd Field, Nick Nightingale on this. He directed Tar and In the Bedroom, The Password, just in case you need it. So yeah, really love this transfer. It sounded great too. Love watching this movie. It's 2.5 hours, but it just flies right by. Really excellent pacing. So anyways, thanks for watching.